Your hello great people, African traveler again. So today I've been privileged enough to travel to most of the major urban centers in Kenya. I've toured almost all of them, and today I decided let me just organize these urban centers, the top 10 in order. And just a disclaimer, I'm not going to follow the normal population and those stuff. I'm going to focus mostly on the build-up area. What do I mean by this? I mean, like, in terms of how the urban centers have been built, is it a really well-built town or city, and not just because of population, because some cities find themselves in top 10 just because of population. Their land mass is huge compared to the rest, or they are come from a very, very fertile place, and with that you have more population compared with other cities, if I may say. The disclaimer is that I'm not going to consider any town or any urban center within 30 kilometers from Nairobi. I'm going to consider it as part of the Nairobi metropole, and with that we're going to lose towns like Rongai, Kitengela, Ruiru, just because most of their growth is really strongly associated with Nairobi, and we're going to consider them as part of the Nairobi metropolitan area. So without further ado, let's start with the first city. First on my list is none other but Nairobi. Nairobi is Kenya's biggest city, and it's the capital city of Kenya, with a population of about 5 million and about 10 million if you include the metropolitan area. Nairobi is one of the biggest cities in Africa and the most developed city from the East Africa. It hosts over 100 headquarters for multinational companies, as well as it also hosts one of the biggest offices for UN, the UN Habitat, that is located in Nairobi. It is the engine of Kenya, and this is where we have the highest number of industries. This is where we have the parliament. This is also where you have one of the highest number of expert community in Africa. International city, in terms of infrastructure, it has one of the best infrastructure from this part of the world. In terms of skyscrapers and buildings, Nairobi is building one of the highest, the tallest structures in Africa. And yeah, you would put Nairobi, in the top 5 most urban centers in Africa, I would say. Second city in line is Mombasa. Without a doubt, the second most developed city in Kenya. It's also the oldest town in the country. Dates back to about 1900 AD. Some of the earliest structure dates back as early as 900 AD. And yeah, Mombasa has grown over time due to things like tourism. Tourism is really, really big, especially due to the white sandy beaches across the ocean line, as well as the port. This is the port city of Kenya, and everything coming to Kenya mostly by ship goes through Mombasa. So with that, Mombasa has grown to be one of the major urban centers in Kenya, and actually the second biggest urban center in Kenya in terms of the build-up area. It has led to a lot of development of office building, major skyscrapers within the town, as well as really, really posh real estate within the town and on the outskirts of Mombasa. So without a doubt, Mombasa is one of the major urban center in the whole in this part of East Africa, and it will rank still among the top 10 major urban center in East Africa. So yeah, so Mombasa has a population of about 1.3 million people. Third major urban center in terms of build-up area, especially the central business district, I'll give it to Kisumu. Kisumu has a population of about 600,000 people, and it's one of the most developed cities in Kenya in terms of organization, structure, beauty. Like, Kisumu had a lot of consideration. It's on the western side of Kenya, and it's on the shoreline of Lake Victoria, the biggest lake in Africa. So Kisumu is one of the biggest cities on the shores of Lake Victoria, and it has grown over time because of business, communities trading amongst each other, and with that, Kisumu over time has grown to be among the biggest cities from East Africa. So yeah, fourth in line is going to be Nakuru. Nakuru's Nakuru is the fourth largest urban center in Kenya, and the other day it was just given a city status. So right now in Kenya we have 4 confirmed cities, and Nakuru was the latest one. So in terms of Nakuru has a population of about 570,000 people. And in terms of build-up area, Nakuru is well-developed, has a well-developed infrastructure. In fact, in terms of real estate, Nakuru beats Kisumu. That is my thought. In terms of real estate development, residential area, Nakuru has an upper hand compared to Kisumu. But in terms of CBD, Kisumu has Kisumu is well advanced compared to Nakuru. So Nakuru has developed over time. It's not really far from Nairobi, and it has developed over time because of the surroundings. There's a lot of farmland around Nakuru where people are planting maize, wheat, coffee, pyrethrum, and there's also a huge tourism potential in Nakuru, where Nakuru attracts a lot of tourists within Nakuru Town and its environs. So Nakuru has a really, in terms of revenue collection, Nakuru collects, I think it's only, sometimes beat even Mombasa, the second biggest urban center. Nakuru as a county. It's actually the county headquarters of Nakuru because of the businesses that are running around Nakuru. So the 5th city in Kenya, so it's still called a town. It's not yet upgraded to a city, but it has all the rights to be called a city. It's called Eldoret. So Eldoret, this is, it's the grain basket of Kenya. Around Eldoret is just greenery and a lot of farming happening around Eldoret. This is also called the home of champions. When you see Kenyan athletes winning gold medals across the country, most of it, most of them usually reinvest within Eldoret and its environs. So Eldoret has grown over time due mostly to farming, and it developed as an urban center where farmers used to come and buy farm inputs, tractors, djembes, and it's also a place. So the town has a population of about 400,000 people on the town, and with that, Eldoret has grown to currently be the 5th biggest urban center in terms of build-up area, not population. So the town has a population of about 400,000 people. So the first major towns in Kenya, everybody affirm the order as it is, but from the 6th to 10th urban center in Kenya, there's a lot of contention. But I'm going to put it the way I saw it, in terms of the drone shot I shot, the visit I did, and I'm going to do it in terms of proper planning of the town's organization, how I saw the town. So for me, I would give the 6th biggest urban center in Kenya as Kisii. Now Kisii, this is the hometown for the Kisii people, and Kisii has grown majorly due to farming. There's a lot of farming that is going around the town, and in the recent, especially the last decade, Kisii has grown a lot due to the peace that the town held, especially when we had the post-election violence. And with that, Kisii really attracted a lot of investors. So we have a lot of Kisii across the country who really work hard and invest in the town. We also have a lot of Kisii in the US, in the UK, who invest back in the city, as well as Kenyans who saw the town as a potential due to the peace and tranquility. And with that, Kisii has seen an immense growth in terms of building, in terms of infrastructure. And it's a city that is really geared to the next, the next city in the coming 5-6 years. Most developed cities in Kenya, I will give it to Thika. Thika is about 44 kilometers from Nairobi, and Thika was one of the industrial towns in Kenya. It's one of those towns, since we gained independence, was chosen to be like an industrial town, and so many industry came here. Till today, we have so many industry running around Thika. We have so many institutions around Thika. We have, it's also one of those areas that people plant a lot of pineapples. So around Thika, you will see large and huge large-scale plantation of pineapples. And with that, Thika also has grown and developed to be one of the most well-structured towns. In terms of real estate, in terms of residential area, Thika is way advanced compared to Kisii by far. In terms of planning, organization of the cities, Thika is way well advanced compared to Kisii. And probably this is due to also close proximity to Nairobi and also the industries that were there before. So yeah, that I give it to Thika as number 6. So the 8th most developed town in Kenya, I would give it to Malindi. Malindi is one of those towns that grew, one of the earliest towns in Kenya that grew along the coast by trading with different nations in the world. And to date is one of the major towns in Kenya. And you can see it's really expansive, despite the fact that you can see the old structures still, the Swahili design of building still dominating the town. It's trying to modernize, but with really strong the Swahili culture, especially in town. Now, Malindi, I would give it an 8th because of the expansiveness. Malindi has stretched, and it's one of those towns with the highest number of tourists that come around, especially if you can see the number of beach hotels that are here. Like in terms of beach hotels and tourism, Malindi will beat so many of the major towns in Kenya. And with that, it has really developed infrastructure in terms of tourism facilities. Yeah, it's one of those towns that you'll love. You'll come and enjoy a lot of amazing facilities here, 5-star hotels. And yeah, I'll give Malindi an 8th position. Guys, it was really hard for me to choose, but let me just analyze one town before I give you my conclusion of the last two. So we have Naivasha. Naivasha is really vast. It's a flat terrain and a lot of tourism potential from the town. And but I really didn't like, it doesn't have that nice feeling of greenery, nature in it, especially in the town, because outside the outskirts of the town is so beautiful with the lake, with the tourist attractions, with the hotels. But inside the town, let me go to the next town, which is Meru. Meru for me was the hardest town to shoot in Kenya, because I sometimes got confused where the town exactly is. You don't have a nice place just to park and take nice shot. So for me, Meru looked really confusing, and in terms of structure, they're better towns than Meru, despite the fact that Meru might be the biggest of them all in terms of population, in terms of money, cash flow, but in terms of structure as a city, no, it lags behind. Town I would give it as well is Nyeri. Nyeri seemed really growing up very fast, and yeah, it's one of those towns that started developing at a very early age, but stagnated along the way, with a lot of agricultural land around it. We have Embu. It used to be the provincial headquarters of Eastern Province. I would say Embu is really well structured, especially putting in mind that all the headquarters for the province were placed here. This town seemed well balanced, well structured compared to the rest, I would say. So with that, I will give number 9 Embu. Embu for me, I would say the town looked well organized. The outskirts, it's well manicured. You have a lot of nice residential area, offices, universities. The town is bit well balanced compared to most of them. That I'll give Embu the 9th most developed town in terms, because of the proper urban planning compared with the rest and not population. The 10th one, I'll give it to Machakos. So Machakos, despite the fact that it may not be bigger compared to the rest, not be bigger in terms of population, but Machakos to me looks better structured compared to the rest. You know, the rest are well built and stuff, but I feel like Machakos is well structured as a town and a city. And I hope, you know, towns like Nyeri, towns like Meru, Naivasha has a well structured as a town, only that it needs some pimping in it. So it needs some buffing just to make the town pop up. But Nyeri and Meru needs to structure the town better, because it's a total mix, you know, it's something missing in it. So yeah, with that, guys, I don't know what is your top 10 urban centers in Kenya. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. This is my top 10 urban centers in Kenya. You just leave a comment on the comment section below. If I missed one, if you need to add, if you need to change, just leave a comment on the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So peace out, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the top urban centers in Kenya. Peace out. See you guys on the next one. See ya.